Joining us today, Johnny Huang, Ninja Johnny himself, with the Bell County Comic Con. How's it going, man?
Hey, doing great, Aaron. Yeah, everything's great. Just got back from Florida, and we're rocking and rolling for year 3 of Bell County Comic Con.
Yeah, for those who don't know, maybe you're new to the area, you live under a rock. Bell County Comic Con at the Bell County Expo Center. You've got 2 of these under your belt now, and I gotta say that first year alone, I mean, lines to the highway to get in. I think you learned a lot of lessons with that one.
Absolutely.
Number 2, number 1 was great. Number 2, even bigger, better.
Yes.
Number 3, you've got 2 of these under your belt. Is it easy? Any easier? New challenges? How does that go?
Year 1 was awesome. Like you said, the line was from the door through the parking lot and across the highway into the gas station, and that was a huge learning experience for us. We expected maybe 5,000 people, and we had over 19,000 people show up. So we're definitely overwhelmed. So we did learn a lot. So year 2, our focus was being better and bigger. So the Expo Center added air conditioning to a new building, which we added on, which allowed us to have 40% more square footage. So definitely bigger and better year 2, as you mentioned. In year 3, I think our focus is on the better part. Not so much bigger in the sense of floor space, but better overall. So, I know everybody had a great time. We're still learning, so we're refining a few things, getting better organized, having more staff, more team, and with the amount of awareness that we've received from the first 2 years, I believe we definitely have that going for us for year 3.
Yeah, and as far as in terms of getting bigger, you mentioned the floor space not necessarily getting bigger, but the scope, I think. We've mentioned, I asked you kind of off camera about themes, and you mentioned anime. Yeah. Anime had a presence definitely that first year, but there was even a bigger presence year 2. Yep. Year 3. You have Sean Schemmel, the voice of Goku, coming in, so I think anime has landed.
Yes, anime has definitely landed at Bell County Comic Con this year. Year 1 and 2, we had a lot of 80s and 90s nostalgia, 70s even, and some of the younger audience. I don't want to say just the younger audience, but the anime audience has definitely reached out, and their voices have been heard. And it wasn't that we ignored it. It's just that we were maxed out on guests on year 1 and 2 due to space issues. But with year 3 coming, we're definitely on the map, on the radar of a lot of different talent. And they have reached out to us showing interest. They would like to be at our show. And Sean Schemmel and a bunch of the other Dragon Ball Z and other anime guys have interest in our show, which I'm very happy and excited to have that. But yeah, we have Max Middleman and Sean Schemmel, which is Goku and Saitama from One Punch Man, which is huge for us, and I love it. And I know the fans love it. So yeah, we're super stoked.
Yeah, let's talk a little about that. So so you have people reach out to you. So obviously the word is out about the Comic-Con.
Yeah. So, year 1, essentially what it was is for us to get guests, we didn't have a lot of contacts for talent agents and stuff like that. They didn't know us. We didn't know them. So what I did was actually anybody that I knew had on my phone list I worked with in the past from other conventions or other shows, or friends of mine that are celebrities or guests, I sent everybody a text and said, hey, listen, we're doing a show in Central Texas and you should really come. And they asked me, whose show is it? It's mine, so you should come. And some of them did, and it turned out to be really awesome. And year 2, we were on the radar for their friends and guests that said, hey, where's that show that you did in Texas? And they said, oh, that was in Belton, Texas, in Bell County. They're like, how was that show? And sometimes small cities and small towns get a bad rep for not having a big show because it is a small town with a smaller budget. With us, we had the support of the local community and businesses, and our goal was just to put on the best show we could with all the manpower we had, and it turned out great. In year 2, we had more support. So to sum it up, the getting the guests for year 3 was much easier because agents were reaching out to us now instead of the other way around where we were looking for agents. They said, hey, we have these people, and we're in the position now where it's interesting because now we can see what we can add a different type of guest to our show that we didn't have before for year 1 and 2.
That's awesome. And I think it definitely helps, as you mentioned, small towns getting a bad rap, which is unfair. I think there are a lot of small towns where these kind of things would be great and would grow. But I think two things that really benefit the Bell County Comic-Con is you having connections, having friends that you've made as you've traveled, done cons, and that you're so involved in this. I mean, you're not some faceless entity saying, book some guests. This is you and your volunteers and your family involved.
Yeah, without my team, it would be impossible to do the show. We have a great cosplay team, a great cosplay lead. We have a lot of well-organized staff. Actually, we have a lot of team members on our team that are what I consider local heroes. They're police officers, firefighters, EMS, teachers, people that are a big part of molding our young people in the community, and they're part of our team, which is great. And we share the same fandom for different entertainment genres such as comic books, movies, etc. And without them, I think it'd be really hard to do a show without them. So no, definitely shout out to everybody that's on the Bell County Comic-Con team there. And some of them are also business owners as well. And what I found out was some of these people were similar to me. They were like closet nerds when it wasn't cool to like comic books or superheroes. And I was that kid in school that did wear a Ninja Turtle shirt, and people said, "Hey, they make Ninja Turtle shirts in adult sizes." I'm like, "Yeah, they do," So I was that guy. But even when it wasn't cool, I didn't care. I love the fandom, but I didn't, wasn't so excited to share that with all my peers at school. It's hard to get dates if you're the nerd in school.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. I graduated in 2005 from Troy, just up the road.
Yes.
And it's funny to see just in the 10-year difference. Even by 2015, nerd culture, so to speak, became sort of mainstream. And you're right. I mean, you might sport a Dragon Ball Z shirt or a Transformer shirt, like you've got.
Absolutely.
I remember I had my Megatron shirt
man.
back in the day, and it's you get those looks of, what are you, like 10?
Yeah.
But now, I mean, that's cool, and it's amazing because there are so many people in different professions, police, fire, medical, who are huge nerds. I mean, most doctors you meet won't tell you this. They're probably Trekkies. Probably had a crush on Dr. Crusher.
I know some of these doctors, and they bring their family. You can tell that they're just as excited as their kids are. When their kids meet Spider-Man, they meet guests from the era that they have interest in, and we see that, and I think it's great. I think that weekend alone is a great. It doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are, or your politics, or what your background is. At Bell County Comic-Con, everybody's welcome. We would encourage everybody to come to the show. It's family friendly. And someone asked me, what's the age group of people that go to these things? I was like, well, I don't know what it is for other shows, but for Bell County Comic-Con, we say 1 to 100, and if you're under 1 or over 100, you guys are also welcome too. But I'll tell you this: we see different generations, and year 1 and 2, as very Ninja Turtle influenced. Kevin Eastman, the co-creator of the Ninja Turtles, was there, along with awesome guests such as Ernie Reyes Jr., a good friend of mine, and Steve Levine. We have all the turtle costumers.
Chris Rager called me a chump last year. That was an honor, by the way.
Oh, hey, that's getting a compliment or insult from a celebrity is definitely an honor, in my opinion. But no, I think, and so going back to the Ninja Turtle thing, you'll see multiple generations. You'll see mom and dad bring, little Susie and little Timmy, and then you'll see grandma and grandpa with them, and they're all sporting Ninja Turtle shirts, and dad will say, "Hey, these are the Ninja Turtles I grew up with," or "That's the creator of the Ninja Turtle. That is the George Lucas of Ninja Turtles," right? And then you'll see grandpa and grandpa say, "Yeah, I bought my son," which is, the parents now, all the Ninja Turtle toys and stuff from back then. So it's interesting, see the generations, and not just for Ninja Turtles, but for everything. And I'm noticing that this year with, with the anime, One Punch Man, Dragon Ball, well, more so with Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, especially with Sean Schimmel, Goku. I mean, I remember growing up, everybody loved Goku, and I did too, but I also like Krillin, the underdog. I always root for the underdog, but.
You've got a friend of mine is a huge Vegeta fan. He's waiting on the day that he's.
Chris. Yeah, I mean, it's for everybody who asks. I mean, I'll just be honest and transparent. We have been talking to Chris for years now. It's really interesting. Chris and I, we did different shows, smaller shows, in Central Texas. Just a few years back, 5-6 years ago, and that's before the resurgence of Dragon Ball Super came back, and it went crazy. And you'll see Chris. I always see Chris at mini shows, and some people wouldn't know who he is. And now him and Sean are like huge, super high in demand, very hard to get a hold of. Very similar to the I Love the '90s tour, because when I mentioned Vanilla Ice is on tour and we're still doing tours now since 2014, they're like, wait, he's still doing shows? Absolutely. '90s is, things always come back in full circle. I think '90s and nostalgia and Ninja Turtles, Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I kind of figured maybe '80s nostalgia would pass, but that's still very strong.
Yes.
Especially when you see Ninja Turtles, Transformers, all these things
Yeah.
making a resurgence.
Yes.
And it's great because, like you mentioned, it's a family event, multi-generational. So people who grew up reading these comics, grew up watching Transformers, Ninja Turtles, like you said, they're sharing that experience with their kids who are into the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's a fantastic thing. I love that you make it family friendly.
Yes.
This is something that everybody can come out and enjoy. This isn't, I think a lot of people see nerd culture, they see con culture, maybe they feel it's exclusive in some way. That might be true of larger cons, but I don't get that sense with Balcony Comic Con at all.
No, you're absolutely right, Aaron. Like some shows, I feel like it is exclusive for certain individuals. They say, oh, you have to be a true XYZ fan, ABC fan at this show to come enjoy it. But, I think with our show, we cover a lot of different genres, including 70s, 80s, 90s nostalgia, even 2000 nostalgia. We got anime, we have wrestling legends from Power Rangers. We cover a lot of, it's a huge spectrum, and we do it on purpose because we want everybody to have a good time. I mean, for the people who went last year, a lot of people were surprised that we had a full-size haunted house. Big shout out to John Guthrie. He's the one responsible for, him and his team are responsible for building this. Oh man, I want to say they spent $15,000-$20,000 building a
and
haunted
Silo
house.
of Screams was
Silos
there
of Screams,
representing,
yes.
and that was fantastic for such a small space. I mean
They did an amazing job. I mean they were there the minute we were open, like had the keys to the Expo Center on Wednesday. They were all day and until sundown, and they got that thing built, and I was so impressed. And I think this year they told me that they may scale it down a little bit. They as much as they love sharing that experience, they still want to show the experience without killing themselves to have it built. But I believe they have some other tricks up their sleeves, and I can't wait to see it. So.
And what's cool about that too is, that's a local business, that's a local haunted house.
Yes.
So there's local guys who are passionate about what they're doing at this con. And you yourself, I don't know that you grew up here, but I know you've had a presence here much of your life.
Yes, yeah,
your family has, and so this is a passion project for you too. So this is very much a Central Texas event. This isn't tied to anything national where you're just gonna feel remote and alien, like we're just here to get your money. This is very much that's what I've loved about it is I think the fans make it just as much as you guys do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're right. I grew up in Texas. I spent 99% of my life in Texas. I was born in New York, but I grew up in Texas, so I
got here as quick as you could.
Yeah, sure did. Just like many others, they joke and call me a Texas Yankee, but when I go back to New York, it's great to visit. But once I stay for more than a month, I'm ready to come home. I miss Texas, but no, I love Texas. Central Texas is definitely where I claim. Bell County Comic Con, really it is ran by the community, the fans, and our staff and volunteers. I think they truly make the show. They say I'm the leader of the group, but I'll lead, and sometimes I follow, and I definitely I learn a lot from my team. So every year we just want to move forward and make progress and make it better. And this year that's really the theme of the show is making it better. But we used to say local heroes and superheroes unite. We have a lot of local heroes here, and we definitely have a lot of superheroes that come out from different areas. But we find out that there's also a lot of outside heroes as well. A lot of police officers and EMS and teachers and other awesome public figures and people of the community from other communities that come support our show as well. So we definitely don't want to alienate them, but everybody's welcome. If you just want to have a good time and get away from negativity and just have a lot of fun, Bell County is definitely one of the places to do it.
Yeah, we've got Fort Hood just up the road too.
Yeah,
Definitely see a lot of people from Fort Hood at the con. A lot of geeks, a lot of nerds out in the military, and that's cool. And what's really cool too is your guests. I wanted to go into a little bit as well.
Sure.
So a big one for me that I saw this flyer and I kind of had to do a double take. I saw Edward Furlong, John Connor,
Yes.
Terminator 2 is going to be there.
Yes, young John
fantastic.
Connor. Yeah. I love Terminator 2, and I remember the scene where young John Connor was with his friend, and the scene, I probably haven't seen the movie in 20 years, but I remember the scene where they were at the ATM, they're hacking it, and in my little kid brain, I was thinking, man, wouldn't that be awesome? And then his friend that was with him, Danny Cooksey, the actor Danny Cooksey, I forgot the character name he played in the movie, but it was definitely young John Connor's friend. I used to watch this Nickelodeon show called Salute Your Shorts.
Oh yeah.
I love that show. I didn't realize I think it was only it was only out for 1 or 2, maybe 3 seasons. But I remember as a kid during the summer, we lived in this little apartment in Belton, and I would tell my mom, I was like, Mom, I want to go to summer camp like that. And Danny Cooksey was Butnick, which was the one. I guess I don't want to say antagonist. I think he was kind of antagonist. He was kind of the bully. He was with this other character named Donkey Lips, and they used to pick on this one camper. I used to love that show. But anyways, he's actually in real life good friends with Eddie Furlong, and they're both coming together. And they were friends in the movie Terminator 2, which I'm a big fan of as well. Just fan when I was a kid, and then I went back and watched it as an adult. More recently, like I said, it's been like 10, 20 years since I've seen the movie. But when I watched it recently, it's surprisingly, it wasn't dated.
It holds up really
well.
well.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it in a while, man, definitely watch Terminator 2. When I went to go see it again, it was when I heard Arnold Schwarzenegger was coming to Texas. He went to Alamo City, and I was considering going, but I had an event booked that weekend, which I couldn't make out of town. But I was considering going, and then I watched Terminator 2, and I was like, man, it's been over a decade since I've seen this movie. And this movie definitely, like you said, Aaron, holds up really well. So
yeah, I love the practical effects, which are kind of making a comeback, especially with the new Star Wars. I love seeing the puppetry and
I love that.
Yeah, practical effects. That's how you make a movie hold up, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, don't rely just on your CGI. Have your puppets, have your twins. A lot of twins used in Terminator 2 for those scenes with the clone, the T-1000 clone.
Oh man, I love practical effect.
Yeah.
Speaking of practical effect, we shot a music video commercial pretty recent. I want to say it's been about a month, and I guess I'll go ahead and announce some other guests that you guys probably seen online. Karen Parson, which plays Hillary Banks, and
childhood crush there.
I think a lot of people did, yeah. And I got some messages asking if there was like go on a date option. I said sorry, that wasn't available.
No kissing booth or anything.
No, not this show. But was I going with that? Oh yeah, so we have some guests that's known for their work on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So we did a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air parody music video commercial.
Nice.
And it's called The Fresh Pull of Bel-Air. So it's Deadpool as the Fresh Pull, and it's his story about how he made to Bell County Comic Con. So if you haven't seen it, I think it did over 100,000 views in a matter of 5 days on Facebook alone. I think we recently put it on Facebook, on YouTube. One of our good friends, the Real Tea Dragon, Tien, is posting on his channel, the Real Tea Dragon, later on this week, I believe Thursday, he'll be posting that up. So, be on the lookout for that. If you don't have Facebook, check it up on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. I think another thing too is cosplay is really big at the con, and
Yes.
I think Deadpool might have been the most represented character. Tons of Deadpools, definitely some Sailor Moon character representation too, and I imagine that'll grow.
Yes.
And it was really cool. There was a panel that was really fun to sit in on last year. A family from Texas who were essentially the Bat family, and they had customized motorcycles, armor, Batman, Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing.
I remember them.
There. Yeah, they were fantastic. That's another great thing too about the con or the panels. So if you're someone looking to get into cosplay, looking to get into making videos, very informative panels. You can ask questions. It's not this huge like Hollywood ballroom setting where you're not going to get heard. They're very good about taking questions, giving you time to ask, and giving you time to have individual time to talk with them. So that's really cool too. But getting back to the guests here, Edward Furlong, that's huge. You mentioned Karen Parsons, Kevin Sorbo, Hercules
Man,
will be there.
So I guess I'll leak this since this is going public soon enough. Anyways, we're doing a private event at Friday night at the Beltonian Theater, which I know I haven't even told you yet, Aaron. But I ran to you there, and I was going to tell you, but you were busy. But I'll share it with you now. So we're going to do an event called Hanging with Hercules, or Hanging with Herc, or Hanging Out with Hercules, something to that nature. And it's going to be there. I really want to have a space for some, Kevin Sorbo Hercules fans, where they can do have a more intimate moment. I believe what we're going the plan is right now is we're going to watch a couple episodes of the TV show, The Legend. What was it? The
Legendary Journeys. Yeah, Hercules.
Yes, of Hercules.
Journeys.
Yep. So I think we're going to watch a few episodes of that, and we'll do a private meet and greet, photo op. We'll have a exclusive artwork that Kevin Sorbo is providing, and he'll be signing that.
Oh, nice.
I think general admission tickets for this is going to be $75, and VIP is going to be $125, and it's actually a really good deal if you consider that if you go see Kevin Sorbo at any convention, I think his autograph is probably around $50 or $60 anyways, and I don't think that includes a photo. So if you were to do a photo and autograph with Herc, it's going to be about $100. But for less than that, for $75, you can get to hang out with him essentially, and then get a photo and the autograph and an exclusive artwork, and watch some TV shows, do in a private setting panel Q&A with Kevin Sorbo. So that's something that me and Zachariah at the Beltonian are cooking up right now. We're trying to announce it this week. But we're hammering out some details to make sure it can work out logistically. But Kevin Sorbo himself wants to do the event. He loves his fans, and he made very clear that, hey, I know I'm scheduled for Saturday and Sunday, but if you want to do something for Friday night, I would definitely be interested in doing that. So I'm just making sure the deal can work out between us and the theater and Kevin. So
that's really cool. That's something I was going to ask you about too, because last year you did tacos with Trejo, which I didn't get to go to. I'm killing myself.
Oh man,
I didn't get to go to that, but I got to speak with him. Really nice guy.
Yes.
The guest of honor last year.
Yes.
But that's fantastic. I mean, and it's an intimate venue too.
Yeah.
Last weekend, we ran into each other at the Beltonian.
Yes.
They were hosting our game night with Big D and Bubba for US 105, and it's a great. I mean, it's a theater, but it feels intimate. It's got plenty of space, but you don't feel like you're going to be a million miles away from Kevin Sorbo or any guest there.
Right.
And I think that's a great place to have an event like that.
Yeah, I know a lot of shows when they bring big name guests. I think they go really overkill on security, which, sometimes I don't blame them. But for us, we do have a lot of security, some undercover, some not. And but I feel like our community, all the attendees are all very nice people, and some may not be used to being around guests and celebrities, which is fine. But like a lot of our guests, I say a lot, I want to say majority, if not all of our guests, after the show, they reach out, and they thank us, we thank them, and one of the things they always mention is we have the nicest fans, and they're like, that's the main reason they want to come back year after year. And a lot of our guests from year one came back in year two, and some of our guests from year two has come back from year three. But a lot of times guests don't come back to do the same show for a lot of reasons, and business reasons or personal reasons. But our show, a lot of our guests want to come back. They had such a great time. They forgot their work, and they thought they were just hanging out with their extended family in Texas, and we love to have them here. So
definitely get that sense watching them interact with the fans. And if you're someone like me, even I get a little starstruck sometimes. But if you want to come meet Ed Furlong, you want to meet Kevin Sorbo, Sean Schemmel, just come on out. No matter how socially awkward you are, and trust me, I am. You're going to be treated pretty well, and you get to meet somebody who you admire and that you've watched your whole life. They're human too, and they're hanging out, having a good time, and the fact that they are enjoying themselves only will enhance that experience. So you mentioned earlier we had Max Middleman, Saitama from One Punch Man, fantastic show.
Love it.
By the way.
Yes.
Karen Parsons, Tim Reed from Sister Sister, and which
Yeah.
I didn't watch that much, but I remember him as Hyde's dad from that '70s show,
Yeah.
which was fantastic too.
Yes.
Really funny guy.
You know, I had a fan tell me the other day. He's like, you know, Tim Reed was on the either the original movie It or a spinoff or TV series, It. And I was like, really? And I did some digging and I found some information, but I think it wasn't on IMDb. So I reached out and to Daphne Reed, which is the second Aunt Viv, which is married to Tim Reed. That's the wife of Tim
Okay,
Reed.
I wondered about that. That's
yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, so some people thought it was the last name a coincidence. No, they're a husband-wife team that they've been married since the early 80s. And you know, great duel. I remember Tim as Ray Campbell from Sister and Sister. I think I've seen, you know, because that was around the era where all those different TV shows. I used to watch like Family Matters, Full House.
Oh yeah.
You know, those
TGIF lineup. There.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
love it, man. You know, like that was like transitioning from Saturday morning cartoons to those, you know, the TGI, you know, Friday stuff. But no, Tim and Daphne, I spoke to both of them on the phone, and super nice people. And you know, I met with some of these our guests ahead of time when I'm in LA doing some other work, and just to do a lunch meeting, and you know, to make some of the announcements official by getting some contracts signed. But one of the best things I love about our guests is they all want to be here. And you know, nothing worse than hearing, you know, having like, you know, some people say, you know, I don't want to be at work. I just go because I need to go. And, you know, we definitely don't want guests to feel that way, whether it's true or not. But I can tell you for sure, all of our guests that come to Bell County want to be here, especially with us being on the radar now for, you know, convention goers and convention guests. But yeah, I mean, the guests, I mean, one of the people I want to mention is that we haven't announced yet, but we will be this week, is Ellen D. Williams. Met with her in LA as well. We had brunch, and she plays Patrice on How I Met Your Mother, and I love that show. You know, I'm a big Friends fan, a big How I Met Your Mother's fan, and I just absolutely love that show. And what's hilarious is you know, Patrice is Robin's coworker in the show, and Patrice is just the sweetest person, but she always gets yelled at. And I think everybody has a friend like that. And even in our group, I feel like there's somebody like that they're always super nice, always trying to do the right thing. And there's always one person yelling at them. And it's funny to laugh at because it's a TV show, but there's somebody that I can relate in real life that reminds me of that person.
Yeah, and that just goes back to the fact that the con, at least in spirit, is growing because you've got someone from a beloved sitcom. So maybe you're taking your kids and you're not so much into Power Rangers, you're not so much into anime or Terminator. Right. There's something for everybody at the Comic Con, and that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, speaking of something for everyone, are you still taking volunteers to help out? And if people want to get involved, how can they do that?
Oh, yes. Heck yeah. I mean, we'll take volunteers all year long. You know, we have a lot of great help, but for people who, you know, there's some people who want to enjoy the show as an attendee, which I get. There's certain shows like Broadway. I want to be watching the show. I don't want to be part of the show. But for Comic-Con, you get to experience, you know, there's some attendees that came year one that became great volunteers for year two, and they're coming back as volunteers for year three. And you get to experience a show in a different way. It's like seeing the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. You know, it's like being Neo and taking the other pill, you know. But yes, if you want to be a volunteer, you want to try experience something exciting in you and being part of a bigger team, or being part of a team, I highly recommend going to the website. It's bellcountycomiccon.com. Should be a big button that says volunteer, or just click on that. For any reason, if you can't find the website, you can always email us at info@bellcountycomiccon.com. But it's on the webpage. The application's there. Just fill it out. Super simple, and you know, let us know that you want to be a volunteer, and then we'll reach out back to you with our team lead to, you know, make that happen. So
that's great, man. So you can be behind the scenes. You can get some cool perks with that, I imagine.
Oh yes, a lot of cool perks. We don't mention what those are. You find out once you become part of the team. It's some kind of. It's not some. Well, it is kind of some kind of secret society. No, it's not. But
I won't push you on that. But yeah, just trust me, it's worth volunteering.
Yes.
And so one last thing, real quick. Any sponsors you'd like to mention?
Oh man,
there's shout out to.
There's quite a few, but I'll go ahead and sound like a end of a commercial deal. So, well, we have Dynasty Chinese Restaurant. They've been a sponsor for us for the last 3 years. My brother's actually the GM, so I have an inside guy. That's my guy. Pizza Hut. Oh man, pizza. I love Pizza Hut. Ninja Turtles love pizzas. They brought out their pizza oven last year, which was a semi truck, and Pizza Hut's a big sponsor. So shout out to Pizza Hut. Shipley Donuts. Big shout out to Trish. She's been supporting us since year one. She provided a ton of donuts for our guests, our volunteers, our staff, everybody, and she is again this year. So shout out to her. All Premier Cinema Theaters in the Temple Mall, Peggy's Coffee House, Rob. Man, Rob is such a great guy. If you guys haven't met him, he's the zombie Captain America that was at the at Bell County Comic Con with his zombie response Jeep. Rob owns 4 now in the mall. Peggy's Coffee House, Under My Skin, Candy and More, and what am I forgetting here? Oh, and Big Top Pretzel. So
okay, I wondered about that.
Yeah. So some people call him the mayor of the mall, and it's it started out as a joke, but I think it's becoming a reality. He's like, if it wasn't for Rob, I probably would not go to the mall as much as I would. So big shout out to Rob at Peggy's Coffee House, the only place where you can get delicious butterbeer in town that I know of.
Yes, very good. Actually, we did a taste test video, which you can find on our YouTube channel. That's
yeah?
good stuff. Yeah,
man, I'm gonna check that out. Yeah,
he's such a huge Harry Potter nerd too, and
yes.
has some connections to a bit of a connection to Stevie Ray Vaughan's history. If you've ever talked to him about that,
yes.
I don't know. We want to go into depth on that here, but ask him sometime if you're at Peggy's.
Yes. Oh man, Rob's a great guy. Yeah, definitely try. If you like, if you're a Harry Potter fan, then you probably know he has butterbeer. If you are a fan, don't know, his butterbeer, I would say contends just as good, if not better, than Universal. So, I've rode the Hogwarts Express in Florida, and their butterbeer there was really, really good. And I think Rob's is just a little bit better. So,
it's fantastic.
Definitely try it out. Don Ringler. They provided us the awesome brand new SUV last year to pick up Danny Trejo from the airport. Big shout out to them. They have awesome. We had Bumblebee cosplay and the car, the Camaro there, and Don Ringler brought out their car. So big shout out to them. And I mentioned John Guthrie from Silos of Screams. Super awesome guy. Haunted house. If you like living life on the edge and you don't want to travel too far, definitely check out that's one of the biggest event after Bell County Comic Con in August. Right around Halloween. Me and a group of our team went. Some of our team, they say they're chicken, but I think they got a taste of if one thing I recommend is if you get scared easily, don't cover your eyes and cover your ears. Those are the people they target while you're in the high. So that's a secret. There. That's a secret. So now you know. So that's now you know. But yeah, but those are some of our sponsors: the Beltonian Theater, Premier Cinema, Cinemark, Synergy of Coppers Cove, all great sponsors of Bell County Comic Con, and a big shout out to them. So thank you.
Yeah, and so thank you so much for coming in, Spider-Man. Thank you so much for making it all the way from New York.
Awesome.
Kylo Ren from a galaxy far, far
yes.
away.
Yes.
Thanks for
Queen
not
of Heart,
destroying us and in your wrath. And, of course, the Queen of Hearts from Wonderland enjoying us, too.
Awesome.
By the way, I found out off camera I was a huge Trekkie, so kudos to you.
True story. And if you want to see our awesome cosplay team, they're going to be next big event we're going to be at is going to be at the July 4th parade in Belton. Our Queen of Hearts is actually the queen. I mean, the leader of the float. So.
Nice. We look forward to seeing you out there. We'll be actually we'll be live broadcasting that on KTM, our AM station. So
I can't wait.
People can't make it out if they want to listen and see what's going on. I'll probably do a video stream too. We'll see. Still working on the logistics on that. But
let's do it.
Man, thank you so much for coming out. Always great to see you.
Yeah, Aaron.
The Bell County Comic Con, first weekend in August is the 3rd and 4th. Make it out, man. Fantastic event. Probably one of the biggest events in Central Texas and family friendly.
Yes.
Whatever you're into, whatever your nerddom is, come on out. Johnny, thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. Thank you guys. See you guys out there.